national emergency.
Detonator charge.
We're in a race against the Nazis. And I know what it means if the Nazis have a bomb.
We have a 12-month head start.
18.
How could you possibly know that?
We've got one hope. All America's industrial might and scientific innovation connected here. Secret laboratory. Keep everyone there until it's done.
Let's go recruit some scientists.
Build a town, build it fast. If we don't let scientists bring their families, we'll never get the best.
Why would we go to the middle of nowhere for who knows how long?
Why? Why? How about because this is the most important thing that ever happened in the history of the world?
You're the great improviser, but this you can't do in your head.
Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world? Chances are near zero.
Near zero.
What do you want from theory alone?
Zero would be nice.
This is a matter of life and death. But I can perform this miracle.
World War II would be over. Our boys would come home.
That's happening, isn't it?
The world will remember this day. Our work here will ensure a peace mankind has never seen. Until somebody builds a bigger one.
You are the men who gave them the power to destroy themselves. And the world is not prepared.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Truman needs to know what's next.
2,
What's next?
1. Shot of that right there. Oppenheimer. Alright, so Shalom Israel, priest Zabach on the camera.
Rob Judah.
Right, HOI Los Angeles, HOI to the chariots fly. All praises to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, forever and ever, amen. And tonight, we're doing a movie review. What we doing, Rob Judah?
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, all right? Oppenheimer. Oppie, right?
Oppenheimer.
It was called Oppie for short, right? So tonight we're doing the Oppenheimer movie review. We're going to basically go over some notes. You know, the movie is very political. It's basically kind of sort of the life story of J. Robert Oppenheimer. J. Robert Oppenheimer, or Julius Robert Oppenheimer. It's basically kind of his life story. It kind of goes deep into the political thing. It was going into a lot of politics in there. You know, the movie is long too. It's 3 hours, so spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the movie before you watch the review, watch the movie first. Make sure you get some rest because you're gonna be up. It's a long movie.
God.
Like it's a 3-hour movie, so get ready. Basically, we're gonna go into some notes, but the movie, being that it was so long, it dealt with a lot of angles. But we're gonna touch on the main point, which is the nuclear destruction of Esau's kingdom. Right? That's what it all boils down to, right? And it was a hell of an ending. So if you haven't seen the movie, let you know within the first minute or two of this introduction. If you have not seen the movie, watch it because it's a hell of an ending. And you're gonna have to, tough it out. It's 3 hours long, but it's a hell of an ending. And at the end of the movie, it deals with the gist of what we want to get to. There's a lot of fluff in there, but basically it deals with the end of Esau's world, right? 2nd Ezra 6. All right, Esau is the end of the world. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Right. So, like I said, there's a lot in the movie, but we're going to touch on the key points. We want to get to Esau creating his own destruction by way of the atomic bomb, which led to all the different type of nuclear bombs you have now. That was the precursor. That was basically the first nuclear bomb. All right. So, like I said, it's the story of Julius Robert or J. Robert Oppenheimer, which is he's from the Oppenheimer family, which is they're not one of the 13 families, but they're one of the rich families. They're old money. I would say they're Illuminati affiliates, right? But they're not one of the 13 main families. But under the 13 families of the Illuminati, you have sub-families and rich families and what they call old money that are what you would call affiliates of the Illuminati. The Oppenheimer's family, when you watch the movie Blood Diamond, they're the ones, the Oppenheimers and the De Beers, right? Another family by the name of the De Beers. They were the ones responsible for the mining of the diamonds in Africa. That movie Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio. When you watch that movie, that's based upon the mining of the diamonds. Esau basically raping, robbing, and pillaging and taking the mineral resources of the earth, right? When you watch the movie Blood Diamond, when you read about the diamonds in general. They were down there mining the diamonds from Ham and taking all the diamond wealth from Ham and, exclusively having it themselves. So just a little brief history on the Oppenheimer family. But this particular Oppenheimer was Julius Robert, which they're descendants of German so-called Jews, all right, Amalek from Germany. He was born in New York, all right, which that played a part in the building of the atomic bomb being called the Manhattan Project, but there was other reasons also. We'll get to that a little bit later. So, like we normally do, we're going to go through some points some of the key points we saw in the progression of the movie. So, my first point I'm going to begin with is basically when there was an opening scene in the movie where Robert Oppenheimer, he was traveling to Zurich, right? And he was on the train with a guy, one of his good friends in the science world. And, a guy he kind of met, but they later on became friends from their encounter on a train to Zurich. And so they were talking, and he said, hey, I noticed, you're Jewish and you're going to Zurich, or whatever the case may be. And he made somewhat of a statement of, we're persecuted and hated around the world. And Amalek, when you check it out, you're not the real Israelites that are persecuted and hated around the world. That's the so-called Negro in America. But see, just like Jeremiah 14:2, when you read in the scripture, Jeremiah 14:2, it says, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish, they are black unto the ground. So the so-called white Jews, they try to wear all black. That's why you see them in all black with the top hats looking like a damn Undertaker, because they're trying to fulfill the prophecy of Jeremiah 14:2. So they always throw that in movies and pop culture. Oh, we're the most persecuted people on the earth. That's a damn lie. You Amalekites run the damn entire planet. All the wealth, all the riches, a lot of your Illuminati families there, when you go back to the history, they're actually so-called white Jews. From the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all of them. The Oppenheimers, right? One of the biggest diamond companies in the earth, the De Beers, some of the most expensive diamonds and wealth that you rape and pillage from the earth. So you're always trying to put that narrative in pop culture and in media, oh, we're the most persecuted people on the earth. No. When you read the book of Daniel, it says, under the whole heaven has not been done what has been done upon Jerusalem. Jerusalem meaning the city and the people, which are the real Israelites, the so-called black, Latino, Native American, and Seminole Indian that are in exile here in America and all the four corners of the earth. But you always paint that narrative like you fit that prophecy, right? Furthermore, he told him, he said, I think he said something about Dutch, right? We remember in the movie, the movie reviews are very generic. we go right off the top of the head, right after we watch the movie. Even though I did check on a few notes concerning this movie, but we'll bring out more concerning the movie and camps and different videos in the future. But I noticed he said to him, "Hey," because he was speaking Hebrew to him, and he didn't understand. Well, not even Hebrew, but I'm gonna get to that point. He was speaking to him, and he said, "Hey, you don't know that word?" And Robert Oppenheimer spoke back to the guy and said, "Well, no." He said to him, "Well, you know Dutch?" He said, "Yes, because I figured Dutch was a language that I was going to know, that I was going to need to know." But he said, "You don't know Yiddish." That proves to you that Amalek, the so-called white Jews, they don't speak ancient Paleo-Hebrew. They speak Yiddish, and they also speak another dialect known as Judaic, which is like Hebrew and German mixed together, all right? Right, so I noticed he said that to him. He didn't say you don't speak Hebrew, he said you don't speak Yiddish. So they'll let you know they don't read or speak. Well, they can probably learn it, but speak that ancient Paleo, or what they call so-called hieroglyphic Hebrew, that was found on ancient artifacts, that was found on ancient so-called Native American artifacts, that which are the tribe of Gad, the so-called Native Americans are Israelites from the tribe of Gad, and they had the name of the Most High, Yahweh, in ancient Paleo-Hebrew on a lot of their artifacts, right? So when you check it out, I noticed that Amalek they somewhat told on themselves, they don't even speak the real actual ancient Paleo-Hebrew with the original 22 characters of the ancient Hebrew alphabet, right? So he told them, you don't speak Yiddish? Wait a minute, you're supposed to be no ancient Paleo-Hebrew, the original language, right? The A to the Da, right? But I noticed that they told on themselves in the movie, all right? So once, fast forward a little bit now, they're testing out this science, and basically it was like what you call an arms race between Germany and America during World War II. Germany, America, and Russia, all the parties that was in World War II. But they were really trying to build a bomb before the Nazis because of the tension, during World War II. So once they found out that Germany was researching a certain technology, and they found out they could split the atoms, the first thing that Oppenheimer said was, let's build the bomb. Now, why is that significant? Because that's Esau's nature. It tells you in Genesis 27 that Esau would rule by the sword. So the first thing came to their mind, well, let's build the bomb. So it was kind of like a bomb arms race during World War II, where, Esau thought, look, who's going to build this bomb first? Who's going to build this weapon of mass destruction? WMD, remember WMDs from the Iraqi war with Bush and Cheney and them, and Saddam, WMDs? Who's going to build a weapon of mass destruction first? And that's Esau's nature. That's Genesis 27. By thy sword thou shalt live. Esau would live by the sword. So that is in his nature to create weaponry and different things, and that's going to allude to his own destruction, like we're going to come to in the end, right? Right. So the movie World War II and the movie plot is kind of based upon, like I said, is America having tension in war with Germany and the Nazis, right? But what happened was, as you go along in the movie, and in history, the tension between America and Germany subsides. Some of the tension between America and Russia subsides, but it builds back up later on. But they said, listen, we can't let the Nazis make a bomb, because Oppenheimer, when you check it out, it was kind of that Hitler persecuting the so-called Jews, the so-called Holocaust, all that nonsense, right? So it was supposed to be that tension like between the Nazis and the Jews, but Oppenheimer was American. He was born in Manhattan, right? So he was kind of privy to America. But once that tension subsided, see, the so-called Esau, like it tell you in Romans the 13th chapter, he don't bear the sword in vain. Esau, he loves to use his weapons. If he build a weapon, he's got to use it, even if he just test it out on somebody. Like it tell you when you can watch a documentary called The Panama Deception, and it'll tell you how, I remember watching that documentary, one of the 5-shield generals in 1 West, 125th Street in Harlem, when I first came into the truth, he used to play movies and documentaries and break them down. That's how he used to do his class. So he played the Panama Deception Force one time, and it showed you that the senior Bush administration, when they invaded and went into Panama to Noriega, they were testing out laser weapon technology. They said when after the invasion, they was going over there finding globs of flesh because of the weaponry that the United States and the CIA, the military was using. They were basically using the Panamanians as guinea pigs. So the point being, Esau, once again, he don't bear the sword in vain, and he was his blessing was the sword. And when you read, I believe it's Psalms 13, it tells you he's the sword and the right hand of the Most High. So they're not going to build no weapons. Once the tension with Germany subsided, they said, let's use it on the Japanese. We got to use it. Once we test this weapon, we do what's known as the Trinity test. Y'all can look that up. The Trinity test, which that was technically the first nuclear explosion in the history of mankind. The first nuclear test explosion, the Trinity test, right? And I forget how they say that name came about, but I believe in a sense that that could kind of be, this is just my theory, my tinfoil hat on, that could be like a mockery of the Most High. Because, you know, the Trinity is a Christian term. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. So it's like our bomb, just like the Tower of Babel, our bomb, right, we're God because we're creating this bomb. You know, that's what Esau feel like. I got the weapons and the technology on the earth, so I'm God. Right? Just like they was going to build a tower of Babel. We're going to build a tower to reach up to the heavens of God. You know what I'm saying? So basically, they named it the Trinity test, the Trinity nuclear test, because this was technically the first test of a nuclear weapon, right, in history. So Esau, they don't bear the sword in vain. When they said, listen, we built this weapon, we gotta end World War II. We gotta drop this on somebody. We can't drop it on Germany. We're gonna drop it on the Japanese, right? So it says there was another part which was interesting, right? And Esau, they so-called wanted to end the war, but like I said, he doesn't bear the sword in vain, so he wanted to test this weapon out. And the guy came back that was on the train with Oppenheimer going to Zurich, and he said, listen, he said, if you use this weapon, you're going to drop it on the just and the unjust. Meaning what? You might drop it on some of the Japanese soldiers, but a lot of civilians are going to die. That's what he meant by the just and then the unjust. You might kill some of the military, but you're going to kill civilians. Now, when you look at when Truman, in August of 1945, Truman dropped a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I think it was a week apart, right? You guys see, when you go back to scenes of the atomic bomb, you literally got children running through the street on fire. Children running through the street with their flesh melted off their body. Children running through the street, even if they were fine, they were crying and hysterical. And in the movie, which Esau they always downplay the amount of people that they killed. They said like with the bombing and the after effect was about 220,000 people that died. It probably was 2 million.
Yeah, with the radiation.
The radiation and everything, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It probably was damn 2 million after the fact, right? But I noticed he said, look, if we use this weapon, it's going to fall on the just and the unjust. In other words, it's going to fall on the enemies and the soldiers and the regular civilians. But Esau don't give a damn about that. He don't care. You know what I'm saying? He wanted the so-called in the war, but he wanted to test that weapon out. Because again, you don't bear the sword in vain. All right, so I thought that was interesting. So there was another scene where this is like the beginning. When you watch the movie, the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie are two of the most important parts. The beginning and the end of the movie is basically the movie. That's what we say. You gotta watch it before you gotta watch the movie before you watch the review. So there was a scene where Oppenheimer, a lot of people, Julius Robert Oppenheimer, he got the credit. He got the credit for building the atomic bomb, but the idea was nurtured from Einstein, right? But Einstein said, listen, you're the man for that, right? But basically, in the beginning, him and Einstein had a talk, and they said, listen, basically, if we seek into building this bomb, we're going to build something that's going to end the world, and that's very significant. I'm going to close with that point also. Hold that point right there, though, right? Yeah, so basically, there was a lot of talk in the movie about. There was a lot of talk in the movie about this is going to bring about our end. This is going to be a weapon of mass destruction. This is going to be a weapon that destroys. Right now, in Isaiah the 54th chapter, right, what does the Most High say? The Most High said, He hath created the smith that bloweth the coals in a fire. A smith is normally an iron worker. But in that context, that's why scripture context is important. In that context of the scripture, the smith represents the nuclear scientist, right? And it says he bringeth forth an instrument for his work. Y'all can look these scriptures up. Isaiah, I think that's Isaiah 54. You can start at 16, all right? So he said, I created the waster to destroy, right? The waster to destroy represents the nuclear destruction. Oppenheimer and the scientists, they would be considered the smiths that blow the coals in the fire, meaning the nuclear scientists that are creating the weapons. And the Lord said, I have created the waster to destroy. That's the nuclear weapons. And that's going to be pivotal to my end point also, right? But that was the narrative all throughout the movie. They said that so many times in the movie, right? Why? Because it goes back. Esau is the end of the world. So I want to stay on that point because they try to politicize this movie and they went all over the place with it. They try to get all into Oppenheimer's personal life or whatever, his adulterous affairs, you know what I'm saying? But stick with the point, Esau, you know this is your, and you know World War II, from the Trinity test up until when Russia, China, and America, Israel, the European Union, when they all launched nuclear missiles on each other, which that's the whole but I don't want to jump the gun. You know this is all about your end, right? So there's a lot in the movie that you could glean as far as history, politics. It's good to know some of the history of America and what happened during that era. That's all good for knowledge's sake. But it's basically the end of Esau's kingdom. That's what it comes down to. All right. There's another scene where they tried to link Oppenheimer up to being a prophet, right? They like, this man is a prophet. Now he's a prophet on the left hand side because the Lord used him to bring about the knowledge to bring forth the nuclear weapon. The Lord said, I created the smith, meaning He put the spirit in Oppenheimer and the scientists and Truman and Groves and Matt Damon played the military general. The Lord would put the spirit on him because the Lord said he would be his sword. So yeah, prophetically, in other words, if you really analyze that, that's deep what they're saying. Basically, Oppenheimer can't be a prophet because he's a damn Edomite. Well, he can be considered a vessel of God, put it like that, right? But more than a prophet, he was used to fulfill prophecy. He was the vessel used to fulfill Isaiah 54 when it says, I created the waster and the smith to destroy. So not so much the prophets are of Israel, right? From the 12 tribes, but he was used to bring about prophecy according to the book of Isaiah. So that really was a subliminal. You got to really catch that. Oh, elder, that's a stretch, that's a reach. No, when you're in the spirit, you see that. You got to pick up, you got to be in the spirit to see stuff like that. He was used, that's what they was really putting in the movie plot. He was used to fulfill prophecy. He was used as a vessel to fulfill the prophet Isaiah's prophecy in Isaiah 54. Bring it out, Rob Judah.
Also, the Most High is a genius. He had made it that the pride of Esau, when Truman had told Oppenheimer get out of his office, he's a pussy.
Right.
Because he was having, he said it wasn't a good idea for them to build this bomb.
Right.
You notice how Truman said that the Russians couldn't have this technology, and how the Most High put a spy. Right. So the Russians can have the technology.
Right.
That was brilliant right there, how they done it. The Most High is a mastermind.
Yeah, they threw the movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
They threw some things in there where basically, you know, Hollywood knows the truth. And most brothers that know, anybody that know about Hollywood will tell you, most directors and producers, if not all, they have to know the Bible. They have to know the Bible. A lot of movies, even the craziest movies you could think of, they're based upon biblical texts. because that's like a requirement in Hollywood. You have to know the Bible. So that was heavy what Rob Judah brought out, right?
Yeah, pride comes before destruction.
Right. That's my ninth point. I'm on my 7th point.
God.
But we're gonna revisit that in my 9th point. But ending on 7th point, he also told Truman, he told Oppenheimer, he said, you're a prophet. And he said, a prophet can't be wrong even once. Right? He told Truman, he told Oppenheimer, I keep saying Truman. He told Oppenheimer, a prophet can't be wrong, not even once. But what was Hollywood really saying in that line? Basically, they were saying, Isaiah 55:11, the Lord's word is not going to go out void. Meaning, whatever the Lord said in these scriptures is going to be fulfilled. So he was basically saying, we know Esau's not a prophet, but you're going to be used, and you can't be wrong once to fulfill the prophecy of Isaiah. That's what that was really saying when you look deep into that. So Esau basically was saying, listen, what's prophesied, what God said would happen, we're going to be used as vessels to fulfill it. Right? Prophetically, he was going to raise up, the 12 tribes in the last days to bring the word out. But they're used as vessels to fulfill prophecy. And he said a prophet can't be wrong, not even once. And yes, when it comes to the Most High and him bringing forth his prophecy, no, nothing's going to be wrong. Everybody going to play their part and fill their position. Proverbs 20:24, man's goings are of the Lord. So, right, so when you check it out, going back to the bomb test, right? Like I said, you can look it up, the Trinity test. There's so much history you can look up surrounding this movie. So when they did the Trinity test, right, they saw that the bomb worked. It was successful. Right? It had the megatons, kilotons of whatever power that they wanted. Notice they rejoice. You know why? Because going back again to the whole thing, Esau is the slaughter. So when they detonated the bomb, and they was like, whoa, they all rejoiced. Because now what? They want to use it on the Japanese to show their power. Esau rejoices in bearing that sword. And that's nothing but prophecy being fulfilled. Right? He's the perfect vessel that the Lord used to bear that sword. So going back to what Rob Judah was saying. So now, towards we winding down. After they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Oppenheimer starts to feel guilty, right? The guilt starts to settle in, and that's what the Lord going to do. The Lord is going to put that spirit. That's what happened with Nixon. When y'all watch the movie Nixon. When Watergate and all that happened, Nixon damn near lost his mind because that guilt starts settling in. Even though Esau's proud, he's the devil, he does things all evil, but when you check it out, the Most High going to put that spirit of torment on them in these last days also. That's why a lot of them going to end up being vagabonds. And it tell you that in Psalms 109, it tells you they're going to be vagabonds. Genesis 4:12, it tells you they're going to be vagabonds. Because the Lord going to put a lot of that spirit of guilt for what they've done on the earth. All the evil they've done on the earth is going to start tormenting them and being in their mind. Right? Even though you might say, well, Esau don't give a damn. No. The Most High power. Watch the movie Nixon, and a lot of these biographies were true. When Oliver Stone, when he made these biographies about Kennedy, Nixon, he was dealing with facts. They even brought out that Oliver Stone was told to take certain parts out of the movies because it was just telling too much truth. They was like, you can't put that on the screen. So Nixon damn near lost his mind after that Watergate scandal because that guilt settled in. He said, who said I said nigger? I didn't say this. I didn't say this. Right? So Truman was disgusted because Esau got what's that military term? You're yellow. You're like, you're a coward. You know what I'm saying? So Esau, they nourish war, man. And one thing about Esau, when they kill, and they don't want to feel no guilt. They don't want to feel no guilt because what? They bear the sword. They're the man of the sword. Their job is to kill and cause destruction and death. That's why they rejoice when they tested out the atomic bomb because they like, yay. And then even after they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they rejoiced. Right? They said the Japanese surrendered. We won. We killed them goops, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can see that in the movie, what's that movie? American Me. When you see there's a scene, no, not American Me. Yeah, American Me Too, but there's a scene in there's a better scene in the movie Bugsy when Warren Beatty comes back home to visit his wife and children. They're eating in a diner, and everybody's celebrating in the streets. The military's in the street because what, they had dropped a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and Esau rejoiced in that warfare. That's when the baby boomer. That was the last of Esau's glory days. That was when the baby boomers came in the 50s, and American as apple pie and all American home. After that, they start to decline. After the 50s and 60s, they're going into the 70s. Esau just starts to decline. All right, so after the so-called successful bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the end of the World War II, then they turned on Oppenheimer, right? And because, like I said, you're not supposed to, Esau nourishes war, so you're not supposed to, you're not supposed to get weak and feel sympathy and whatever. But like I said, that's that torment. And like you said, Truman called him a pussy. Right? Truman said, when you read about it, it said Truman was disgusted. They said Truman was disgusted with Oppenheimer, that he felt bad about the bombing. Because Esau's like, no, we destroyed our enemies. And see, that's how our people got to be. We got to toughen up and get that thick skin, because when these race wars and stuff break out, and it's time for Esau to fall, we can't be feeling all sympathetic for them. You know what I'm saying? So, one more point. Right, so fast forward, the movie, I don't want to use the term dragged, but it's a long ass movie. But the movie kind of more went into them coming against Oppenheimer, because when you read the history, Oppenheimer was making a lot of public statements that he wasn't really with. He wasn't, he basically was like, we did what we had to do, or what we thought we had to do, but that guilt was settling in. He more so was like, damn, did we have to do it? And that looked bad on the American public. And no, damn it, we ended World War II. We dropped that atomic bomb, da-da-da-da-da. And when you check it out, when you read Revelation 13:13, it said Esau doeth great wonders, so that he caused fire to come down from heaven in the sight of men. What does that mean? That's the fulfillment of World War II and the atomic bomb. They basically dropped fire from heaven. In other words, they sent the B-52 bombers or whatever over, and they dropped the bombs. They brought fire from heaven in the sight of men. And everybody on the earth witnessed the mushroom cloud of that destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They had the video slides and everything. So that was the fulfillment of Revelation 13:13. So that was like a glory moment for Esau. One of his main glory moments, and he got to fulfill the ultimate feeling and power of, I am the sword of the earth. So you can't come along and be like, oh, we shouldn't have did that. It's kind of taken away from the moment. It's like when the police kill our people. It's like when the police kill our people, and they say, can you see? All right. It's like when the police kill our people, and then here come a Negro saying, oh, can I get a hug? We all need to get along. No, we want vengeance. We want to fight. We want race wars and different things. So the ending scene was also, the ending scene between Oppenheimer and Einstein was actually the beginning scene, but it was also the ending scene. It was the ending, beginning, ending scene, right? So before they built the atomic bomb, right? Before they had the Manhattan Project, and it took place in Los Alamitos, New Mexico, but it was called a Manhattan Project to disguise it, because they didn't want the public to know that they was building this weapon of mass destruction. So once him and Einstein had that talk, Oppenheimer, Einstein said, listen, remember, we said that do you believe we're going to build something that ends the world? So now in the ending scene of the movie, what does Oppenheimer have a vision of? He has a vision of the nuclear bombs being launched all over the planet Earth. Okay. And him and Einstein had a conversation at the beginning saying, if we build this atomic bomb, if we go through with this Manhattan Project, are we building the end of the world? So that's what this whole movie is about. All right, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. And we quoted Isaiah where the Lord said he's going to have them build their own destruction. So in the end of the movie, Oppenheimer, he has a vision, and he said from the atomic bomb, he sees the end of the world where all the nuclear missiles are shot. And it tells you all throughout the scriptures. It said every battle, Isaiah 9 and 5, right? Every battle of the warrior shall be with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, right? So that's the nuclear destruction. And it said the arrows are going to be shot to the ends of the earth. The arrows represent the nuclear missiles. So that was the gist of the whole movie. All the history, the political stuff, whatever, that's good. But basically, to sum it up, Oppenheimer is about the end of the so-called white man's world and kingdom by way of nuclear destruction. From the time of the building of the atom bomb to the end when Oppenheimer sees the vision of all the nuclear missiles going off all over the face of the earth. America, the earth, most of the different parts of the earth are going to be burned up and destroyed in nuclear fire. Yahweh Shai and the angels are going to come and deliver Israel. Esau is the end, Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. That's the gist of the movie Oppenheimer. And Rob, you don't want to say anything, and then I'll close out.
God, also, I noticed Robert Downey Jr.'s character,
Strauss.
Yeah, Strauss.
He played the dude Strauss. He was gunning for Oppenheimer.
He was gunning for Oppenheimer only for jealousy.
Right.
Usually because he thought that he said something to Einstein for Einstein to ignore him. But like he said, it was just a friendly conversation about the end of the earth. So when they built this, when they went back into it, it was just, you know. And then I noticed that other Russian guy, I guess, I don't know if he was Russian, the one that was helping him, talking about the hydrogen bomb.
Right. He had an accent, but
I couldn't make out his accent.
I forgot what he was saying he was from.
Yeah. Well, he turned against him because he wanted to make that hydrogen bomb.
Right.
That's when eventually they went. Their second bomb was the hydrogen bomb.
Right.
That was the first generation of bomb. Then it goes into the hydrogen bomb.
Right.
And then after the hydrogen bomb, I forgot these other bombs they made.
Right. They got all kinds.
Yeah, they got so many bombs.
It was basically the atomic bomb, the Manhattan Project, was basically the first nuclear weapon. All right, nuclear coming from the term nucleus because it's the nucleus of the atoms, and then you get into all them scientific terms, the quantum physics and all that. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole other level of conversation. But it basically was dealing with that, and basically like now they got the Moab bomb, the mother of all bombs. You got the daisy cutters, the bee. You got all kinds of bombs now. But,
Satan 1 and Satan 2.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Satan 1, Satan 2, you know what I'm saying? But that was basically the foundation of all weapons of mass destruction or nuclear weapons of mass destruction. From the hydrogen bomb over to the nuclear missiles they got now, with some of them got 15 damn warheads on them, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they showed. Remember, it went from that ball bomb to the, now the nuclear missiles look like rockets. So, or like they look like bullets. You know, so nuclear missiles look like giant bullets. So it went from that ball, the bomb being like a ball, into those nuclear, because basically what they did, they took that technology and put it on a rocket warhead. All the nuclear missile is a rocket with a warhead on top of it. You know what I'm saying? So they just took that technology, enhanced it, and made your nuclear weapons that you see now. But the Most High gave them all that power to end their own kingdom. Right, so basically, Israel, that's a brief breakdown of the movie Oppenheimer, what it's really all about. We'll get into some deeper stuff with the history and other aspects of the movie in camps and other lessons that we do. But that's a quick HOR movie review. We back at it again. Priest Zabach.
Rob Judah on the camera.
You want to just say shalom? We'll come around and say shalom to the people. Rob Judah in the building.
Shalom.
Come in, shalom, right? Priest Elder Zabach, Rob Judah, HOI Los Angeles, HOI to the Chariots Fly, by Shema Mashiach Yahushua, to the shot of the whole full thing again. Oppenheimer. Check it out, y'all. Check it out. And it's good for some of the history and some of the other stuff you can learn from it. But basically, Esau, your days are numbered. Right, by way of nuclear destruction. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. And Jacob's kingdom is coming. So with that, death and destruction to Esau and the nations, power, peace, safety, and the kingdom of heaven to the 12 tribes of Israel. Kwame Ashala, we still got next. Hallelujah. Once again, Priest Zabach.
Rob Judah on the camera.
Right, HOI to them chariots fly by Shimma Mashiach Yahushai. Kwame Yashai. That's our review of Oppenheimer. Check it out. Let us know what you think. Comment. Leave your thoughts. Don't leave simple comments. You forgot about this part, Elder. This is just a breakdown of some key points. It's a 3-hour movie. You can do a 6-hour review on it. So you can break down every scene. So add your comments and don't watch 3 minutes of the review and say, Rob Judah and Elder Zabach forgot about this part. And then later on, we might talk about what you're talking about. Watch the movie, watch the review, give your feedback, Israel, give your comments, your input, and let's unpack this movie throughout the rest of the summer. By Shimma Mashiach Yahushai. Kwame Yashala, we still got next, hallelujah. All the camps in Yahweh Yahushai forever and ever, amen. By Shimma Mashiach Yahushai. Shalom.
Shalom.
Come here, Shalom.
Come here, Shalom.
Come.
HOI to the chariots fly.
Come. Shalom, 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 yashala. On another note, on the movie Oppenheimer, I just want to add this point in there. This is very important because this is the real ending that I want to speak on. When you look at the ending of the movie Oppenheimer, when J. Robert Oppenheimer, when he has the vision of the conversation him and Albert Einstein had, and he said, do you think that we're building the end of the world? And then he sees a vision of all the nuclear missiles going off on the earth, like a future vision. Because like I said, the atomic bomb that they built was like a ball, but eventually the nuclear missiles got more advanced with the the rocket type design, looks like a giant bullet, basically.
Yeah.
But it's really like a rocket with a warhead on it, right? But when all that was said and done at the end of the movie, and that scene went off, when I grabbed my phone and I took a screenshot of it, and you can't make this up. It's 11:44 right now, right? You can't make this up. It's 11:44 right now, right? But at the end of the movie, I'm gonna show you. I took a screenshot of it. When all that went off, and when you see the nuclear missiles being shot, and then it gives like a satellite image of the earth, and you see the fire covering the earth from all the nuclear missiles hitting it. When that part happened, I took a screenshot on my phone. That was exactly an hour ago. It was 10:44. You can't make this up. And it's 11:44 now, and we adding this clip in because I forgot about it during the main review. That's a screenshot, right? It was 10:44 when the movie ended, right? With the nuclear missiles being shot to the ends of the earth. And when I started this little commentary, it was 11:44. You can't make this up. So basically, what the Most High is showing through the Spirit, everything is through the Spirit. You can't make this up. He's showing that as the nuclear missiles and the destruction of World War III is destroying America, he's going to be raising up to 144,000. We're going to be beamed up on them chariots along with the rest of the 1/3. HOI to the chariots fly by. Shimma Mashiach. You can't make this up, Israel. Bring that out, King.
Also, we forgot to mention where Oppenheimer was giving a speech. He was having visions of the people in the crowd that was cheering him with burnt skin. Then he had the ash body. We forgot to mention that. He stepped on the ash body.
People were crying and consoling each other.
Yeah.
And remember, one of his mans that worked on a project with him, when he went outside, he was throwing up.
Yeah.
Because he was like, damn, we killed all these people. So that guilt gonna settle in on Esau. Yeah. And what was you? We have forgot to mention, Israel. The last this latest movie review since we did the last one was The Woman King.
The Woman King in LA.
So me and Rob Judah, we back at it again. Maybe we need to try to do a little bit more, do the movie reviews more frequently. Maybe at least a little bit more periodically and consistent. Because That Woman King was a while ago.
Yeah.
So we'll try to bring more movie reviews to y'all. But sometimes we don't want it to get too saturated. It's like a treat. It's like a little treat that you wait for. But because there's a lot of movies out there and different stuff that you can go into with a biblical and historical concept to it. But we just wanted to mention those things as a footnote, a few things we forgot to mention in the main review. So that's basically it. Anything else? Anything else, y'all? Like I said, we'll go into on the camps and other classes, lessons we'll teach. Other stuff will come up. This whole Oppenheimer thing is it's interesting. I've been researching them since I was doing research on the Illuminati years ago, and that family name came up a lot. There were a lot of old money from the diamonds and just other old business that they were into, what the Illuminati call old money. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that out. It's all spiritual, man. As that last scene went off the screen and we was about to leave out the theater, you know how you get your phone to get some light or something, and the phone said 10:44, and then we forgot, so we brought it back up now. When I opened my phone, it was 11:44. So you can't make this up. So once again, Oppenheimer, check it out. It's all about Esau's destruction, nuclear destruction, World War III. That's the whole concept of the movie when you really check it out. Like I said, you can get some of the political history and the general history, and you can see how Esau moves with his military and all that. See how much $2 billion they spent on a damn Manhattan Project to create that first nuclear bomb was $2 billion. 3 years, 4,000 people. They had to build the whole city. They chased Gad off the land. Right, remember that too. Oppenheimer felt guilty about that. Because remember, the military general that was played by Matt Damon, he was like, well, what do we do now? Oppenheimer was like, get the Indians back their land. You know what I'm saying? Because they basically chased Gad up out of there to build a damn nuclear bomb. So there's just some more footnotes. We remembered Israel. We just want to add that into the commentary. Kwame Ashala, we still got next. Hallelujah. All praise to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. HOI to the chariots fly. HOI Los Angeles. Priest Zabach.
Rob Judah.
We out here in LA, man, just like me and Allah do in New York. I think I did 1 or 2 movie reviews out of in other cities, but we mainly do them out here in LA with me and Rob Judah. New York with me and Allah. Back at you, Israel, with another movie review. Oppenheimer. Check it out, man. Nuclear destruction upon Esau's world. World War III. Nuclear fire. 144,000. 1/3 deliverance of Israel. And check out the movie, man, and see what you think. Leave your comments, your input, what you see through the spirit, and let's build and get some knowledge on Hollywood bringing out their latest Tell the Truth movie, right? About Esau's into his kingdom by nuclear fire. By Shema Mashiach. You want to say something? No? Okay. So with that, Israel, we're going to get up out of here. All praise to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai forever and ever. Amen. Shalom.
Shalom.